Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. From the classroom to the living room, MTE is proud to partner with local schools and families to inspire the next generation, putting it all on the line for our community. For 90 years, that's Middle Tennessee Electric. Well, joining us today is the one and only James Price of the Better Business Bureau. And James, we've had graduation season. We've got, all the high school seniors are done. The last day for county schools is Friday, but all those seniors, they graduated 2 weeks ago, so they're already out and doing things.
Yeah, and they're in for a new life. And actually, after all that schooling, now we're going to introduce them to scammers.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, I tell you what, they have been on a rampage lately. I cannot tell you the number of text and phone calls I get every day. And it's been for the last 2-3 weeks or so. And it's relentless. I've gotten 3 already this morning. Wanting to deliver a 2017 Dodge Caravan, and they just keep coming and calls. So I don't know. I guess the scammers are working extra busy.
Well, we've said this before, is that the scammers have no couth at all.
Mm-mm.
In fact, here in my office at BBB, I get scam calls every day. And what's really ironic is these scammers, do you not know that what we do is we point out scammers? So they just give me ammunition to be able to pass on to everybody else, because I'll sit there and I'll play along with them and figure out what they're doing before they start calling me 4-letter words, and because I've wasted their time when it comes to what they're trying to push.
Well, they're just not very smart about it. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, they're scammers, so they got one check against them in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
But, hey, let's talk today about new graduates. And we're talking about, whether it's college or high school graduates. Boom, you've graduated. Now what? And so, when people graduate either from high school or college, you got a new season in your life that comes up. It's a major change and thing that's going on. And, people have to go, okay, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go get a job. If I'm graduating from high school, am I going to college? If I got out of college, where am I going to, where am I going to go to work? It's, that can involve things like moving and, okay, well, if you're getting out of college, now I got loans that I got to try and pay off. It's just a plethora of things that are in your life, which the scammers know, because now you're vulnerable to the things that they try to do to people. So although you might be excited about what's ahead, scammers will lock into that, and they expect you not to be on your best guard. And so taking a little time to make sure that, you realize what some of these scammers will try to do. And we'll go over a few of them today, but the way scamming goes, this is not an exhaustive list. As soon as the scammers know that somebody's figured out one scam, they go to work and try to figure out another one.
Yeah.
It's like there's a college for scammers. I don't know.
Well, it must be, or they kind of know what to kind of hit on first. And you mentioned, letting the guard down. So that definitely happens. So let's talk about a few things. I've got a few scams, and we'll talk about this from the perspective of new graduates, like student loan forgiveness, fake tuition payments, employment scams, gift and scholarship scams, moving and rental scams. All of these are scams that could be the target of new graduates out there. So let's talk about the student loan forgiveness scams first.
Yeah, so a lot of times those scammers are going to call up these graduates and go, "Hey, we can get your loan forgiven for college." And what they'll do is they'll mislead you with promises, and they may even say that they're from a company that may be legitimate, while other ones may be entirely fake or whatever. But college graduates need to understand the terms of their student loan, including repayment timelines, interest rates, and avoiding companies demanding payment for services that federal programs may already provide for free. There are, and don't get me wrong, there are student loan forgiveness programs
Hmm.
out there. Uh, I'm not going to be the authority on this, but the government has a program that if you work for a nonprofit for 10 years after you graduate, then there's programs out there that can forgive those loans. So if you leave college and you go to work for a nonprofit for 10 years, you could be eligible to get your loan forgiven. Now, you still have to pay something on those loans along the way. So if you're leaving college, or you have student loans and you're working for a nonprofit, I would encourage you to dig into those. But just be aware that you could be contacted with unsolicited emails or text messages or phone calls claiming that, hey, we're the authority about getting rid of student loans or reduce your payments for an upfront fee.
Yeah. Um, Kind of goes into, tuition payment demands as well. Some of these can be fake, as saying you owe this much on your tuition. And I would think that new graduates, especially high school graduates, may not be thinking, well, I thought we paid all that, for their freshman year. And so that could be a target of scammers.
Right. And those fake tuition payment demands, hey, you haven't paid this or whatever. Or it could be, hey, I know you have the student loan, but if you give me this much money, then we'll get rid of the rest of it for you.
Hmm.
All you have to do is wire transfer me some money or send a gift card or a prepaid debit card. A lot of times you got to kind of think about what kind of payments the people who on the phone are requesting, and that can be the biggest red flag of all.
Yeah, it should be. I can't imagine MTSU saying, okay, let's pay this tuition balance with a green dot card.
Right. So anytime somebody wants a payment with a wire transfer or a gift card or a prepaid debit card, uh, y- your red flag should be spiking through the stratosphere.
Hmm.
I mean, that should be like an immediate hang up. I mean, gift cards are for gifts.
Yeah, yeah. Get those spidey senses tingling there for sure.
Right.
We're talking about, from the Better Business Bureau, James Price, our guest, talking about new graduates and some scams to watch for during this major life change, a time in their life where things are definitely hard and fast and that kind of thing. Employment scams is another, especially for those, high school or college graduates who are going right into the workforce after school, and they may get these sweetheart offers, but you got to be careful that they're not scams.
Yeah, and you got to kind of look at it. AI is really putting pressure on these recent college graduates. In fact, I was watching one commencement exercise this past week where somebody was mentioning something at the commencement ceremony about AI, and they
Yeah.
got booed.
Boo.
Yeah, it's
Boo.
like it's like you know, will some jobs go away with AI? Well, yeah, but it's going to create more along the way. So uh, just be careful with that. You know, recent graduates are targeted for things like fake job offers and promising pay and remote work. You don't have to have any experience. When you get out of college or high school, one of the first things you want to do is you want to find a job. Well, if the scammers kind of know that you're vulnerable to that, they're gonna take advantage of that by putting it up. So, if they request social security numbers or banking information, upfront payments, in some cases, victim receives fake checks and they're asked to return part of the money. Um, so before accepting a position, graduates should research the company, verify job listings, the official corporate website, and be cautious of what offers seem too good to be true. I had said this a couple of years ago. A guy walked into my office. He had gotten this job offer and did an interview. And I said, "Well, how'd the interview go?" He goes, "Well, I got it all printed out here. We did the whole thing through text message." And I'm just going, "You're kidding." So you had a job interview and an offer, and the whole thing came through a text message, but you've never physically. And you're coming to me asking me if I think it's a scam.
Yeah, it is.
Um, the other part is if your gut tells you it's a scam, I mean, it could be. I mean, I know somebody who had gotten an offer for a job. They hit delete, got another offer job, hit delete, got another offer for the job, hit delete, and then got a phone call and said, "We've been trying to reach you about this job offer." And it turned out to be a legitimate job offer. So if you get job offers, you might want to research them a little bit, but as soon as those red flags start popping up, do your due diligence on that. And remember, upfront payments, if you're going to get a job, you shouldn't have to pay to get the job. You're expecting to get paid to get the job. So, and then watch out for the fake checks. I actually had a fake check actually come to my BBB office one time that somebody actually had, a scammer had actually got them, and they gave him our BBB office address, the whole 9 yards. And then we got this whole package in, and of course it was obviously a scam, but yeah, the check came in, it was for like $4,000. And of course that was one of the ones where they were expected for you to send the extra money back.
Yeah, cash that check and send the extra money, and then all of a sudden that's a bad check there. So I'm assuming that we've got like a minute and a half left here. But, if you have a question about a Scam Tracker from the Better Business Bureau is a great place to check in on that.
Oh, absolutely. Go to Scam Tracker. If you think it might be a scam, you can check it out. Or if you get scammed at any point in time, report it to Scam Tracker. Basically, you're telling the world, hey, this is a scam overall. Be aware of gift and scholarship scams. Somebody may send you a congratulatory letter, free gifts, exclusive deals, and then the victims are asked to pay for shipping, and provide additional information. Don't do it, and avoid clicking on suspicious links or sharing sensitive information with unknown contacts. I can't tell you how many times a day I get people calling me and saying, "Hey, I keep getting these phone calls." Well, quit answering them. You can set your phone up so it only rings with people that are calling that are in your contact list.
Right.
The other part is if the phone rings, people are just so tempted just to answer it because it's ringing. Just because your phone's ringing doesn't mean it's something that's good for you.
Well, and when you answer that phone, that also lets the scammer know, hey, this is a real number with a real person. So then that gets sent on to other scammers and stuff out there too. And I guess the same for text messaging. I had somebody tell me, don't even unsubscribe or respond in any way, because then that puts your number back out there in the scammerverse, if you will, for others to hit you up with. So
the other big one is moving and rental scams. Moving is one of the biggest scam industries in the U.S. If you move, find an accredited business. Rental, make sure you go visit the property and know who you're dealing with before you give any kind of money away.
Good deal. James Price joining today from the Better Business Bureau. We appreciate it. Congrats to all those new graduates out there.